Hello, hello. I'm hoping that you'll be able to hear me well. On this set of suits, we will be doing the swords. So, we'll just go ahead and get started. This first card here is the Ace of Swords. It can mean great triumph, great or big love, newness and understandings, realizations, new ideas, being in a better headspace or a better mentality, a way of thinking, agreements, clarity of situations, being strong minded. In the reverse, the Ace of Swords can be mental blocks, confusion, disagreements, being unable to move forward with ideas, and it can also be a lot of hatred when it's in the reverse. All right. We'll just sit that right up there. Second card here is not your Ace of Swords. I'm tripping. It is your Two of Swords. So here you see she's got a blindfold on, she's got two swords, and she's ready to be on the defense. She's ready for whatever's coming, whichever direction that it's coming from. She's ready to go. She's right there on the shore, she's on the ledge, and she's ready to give whatever she's got to whoever got it coming. So with your Two of Swords, it's needing time to decide, of course, as she is there being on the defense until she's ready to let her guard down, needing some space, protecting her peace for sure, planning difficult choices out, limiting outside influences for sure, as she's got those swords there just to give her time, give her some peace, give her some space for her to make a decision there while she's, kind of there blindly trying to figure out what it is that she's going to do. You want to put it into a mental state type of reference on the card since it is swords. And swords are also pretty much like your mental, your intellectual, cerebral base cards because they are your air signs, your Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay? With this Two of Swords, she's also seeking clarity, balance through understanding, can also be conformity, courage, intimacy. In the reverse, Two of Swords can be falseness, imposters, duplicity, fakeness, disloyalty, no clarity, ambiguity, or things still being up in the air, thoughtless choices, or just being vague. This one here is your Three of Swords. Three of Swords is a set of three. It can be heartbreak, betrayal, being stabbed in the heart, kind of like severe hurt, whether physical or emotional. Definitely mental. With the Three of Swords, it can mean division, voids, absence, having to remove people and situations so you can get more clarity and kind of regroup. Can be ruptures, as you see the blood coming out from the wounds that are there where the swords are in the blood, so ruptures. Maybe even a heart attack, ruptured heart. Maybe even that, depends on how you're taking it with the read. If something comes up with the help, maybe heart problems. Now that I'm really looking at this, I think was another card that I kind of went autopilot on. But growing through pain, matters of the heart. In the reverse, it can refer to errors, loss, disorders, confusion, distractions, alienation, releasing pain, avoiding pain, being resistant to growth or growth just being stunted. The next one we're going to do is the Four of Swords. So Four of Swords calls for needing some rest and rejuvenation, kind of re-energizing yourself, realigning, getting back to yourself. It's for damn sure. You see how she's got like some sleeping pills here, swords up there. She's got her what is that? Sleeping eye mask type of ordeal there. I forgot what those were called. But she's got one there, and she's got a little bit of clay mask, if you want to call it that, over her eye, maybe a little eye gel there, and just kind of recharging herself, refreshing. So with this Four of Swords, it's also taking time to retreat, solo time, time to heal, regrouping mentally, maybe even being a slight hermit, taking some time to yourself, just being selfish just a little bit. Can also refer to being exiled or exiling yourself, whether it's, yourself or others. Seclusion, time of prayer, realignment. Can also be visiting loved ones, funerals, or even graveyards, just depending on the surrounding cards. This is your Four of Swords. Oh, I forgot to hit on the reverse for the Four of Swords. I can't believe I almost forgot that. I know I was going through that one too quick. It could be precaution, testament, or testimony, circumspection, precise, administration, depending on the surrounding cards. Being active again, being out of alignment or off-centered. So in the upright, you're recharging, you're regrouping, but in the reverse, it will be the opposite. Or not being able to do so. Or not having the time to being able to take care of yourself. Can also be for slow downs, delayed of healing, and needing to get back out. All right. Can't believe I almost missed that one. Here we are with the Five of Swords. So this Five of Swords, he's actually one of my favorite cards because I really love that beard. And I'm loving the hair and all the different colors here. He's definitely bold and bright up front. With this Five of Swords, it can be feeling defeated or defeating, as I kind of made this card. You can see it either or, just depending. But you have the two people back here that are walking away like they're defeated. And here you also have your, what can be preceded as your victor as well. Also standing the ground. Saying what you say, saying what you mean. It is what it is too. You want to interpret it that way. But with this Five of Swords, it can be feeling defeated, setbacks, regrets, infamy, or not having any honor, no awareness, mental contractions. In the reverse, the Five of Swords can be overcoming conflict, reconciliations, regrouping, bouncing back from setbacks or defeat on this Five of Swords. All right. I really like this card. I was so excited when I made that one. I was showing my brother. I was like, I blended the hell out of that beard. It was a very exciting deck to make. I really love this. My grandparents would be proud. On this Six of Swords. Oh, man. On this Six of Swords, you see he's holding some papers there. And his shirt says switch up. Six of Swords, he's having to shift his mindset, change up plans, having to make things go another way, and kind of figure it out. On the Six of Swords, he's going to take a journey. As you see him, he's got a backpack on. He's got one back down here. He's got some shades on, and he's kind of like out in the wind with his hair going in a different direction. And he's got some papers in his hand, and he's getting ready to take a stroll. He's got to switch it up. So with this Six of Swords, it's like taking a journey, changing of plans, being en route, transitioning, moving on, mental flow, having a plan, overcoming difficulties, and trying to have some follow through. But in the reverse, it can be confession, publicity, possible proposal of love, depending on the reading and or the surrounding cards, declarations, seeking refuge, postponing, being hesitant to move forward, healing through communication, or needing to resolve issues. With the Seven of Swords, you see she's getting ready to sneak out. She's got a flashlight here right next to her, and she's getting ready to go out that window and kind of take off, sneak off just for a little bit. She's taking 2 swords with her and leaving the other 5 behind. Seven of Swords can also be to attempts, wishing or hoping. Can also mean quarrels, getting away from it. Even if you're coming back, heck, you might not even come back at all. Plans that can fail if not properly planned, annoyances, being secretive, having to strategize, having stealth, self-determination, even having mental struggles. Because you might remember that the swords is anything mental, cerebral, intellect, thought-based are those energies for that. In the reverse, on the Seven of Swords, it's realigning with truths, needing to be transparent, surrendering power, not having responsibility, lack of personal responsibility. Good advice can also be slander, yah stuff, just people running their mouth, talking crap. It can also be a card that would call for instruction or wise counsel, okay? Yah stuff, babbling, talking smack. Baby. This Eight of Swords. Let me tell you about this Eight of Swords. On the normal, I want to say the normal Rider-Waite deck, or the one that you commonly see, you see the lady with the blindfold on, and the swords are pretty much near her same height. I wanted to do something different with this card, and I had them go kind of downward shorter because this is being in a mental state. She doesn't have anything really holding her back. She's holding herself back. It's like mental imprisonment. And I'm saying that because here you've got this house back here. You've got this water right across. And you see this boat here. She's coming from here. She's put herself in this position. No one's holding her back. Nobody's keeping her there. She's in her head. Okay? And she's got these footsteps coming over here and standing in between these swords that are also not holding her back. She put herself here when all she has to do is take that off and get back in that boat and go right across. So she's coming from a place of peace to coming over here and just kind of putting herself in a little bit of crisis, being in her mind when she can just kind of get out of that and just go right back across. So I did put a little something here on this card. So with this Eight of Swords, it can be crisis, bad news, can be violence, severe disapprovals or conflicts, mental illness, kind of going crazy, being stuck in your head, self-imposed limitations, mental blockages, seeing through illusions, liberation, kind of putting yourself there, even though you don't want to listen to anybody else and you just want to just go for it, even if the outcome is not even the most positive, On this Eight of Swords, It can mean fatalities, accidents, can be trauma, difficulties, opposition, emancipation, wanting to release yourself, having clarity, no longer wearing rose-colored glasses. That's my interpretation. Needing to trust yourself as well. All right. That was the reverse for the Eight of Swords. On this Nine of Swords, you see how he's kind of there, can't really sleep, and he's just looking through his phone, trying to see what's going on. When I made this card, I didn't realize until after the card was printed that this 333 added up to this 9. I swear to you, I did not even notice that until after I got these cards printed. And I was like, did I put a 333 on here? Look at me being on autopilot. Crazy. But I love it, you know. Sometimes when we make things and we're just in a zone and you just kind of go off on it, you know. No matter what it is, whether it's food, it's writing, it's hell, basket weaving, whatever. Um, Putting flower arrangements together, you know, and you just kind of get in a zone and then you just start having a flow and you just start doing all kinds of stuff. And then by the time you're done with it, you're like, oh crap. Now I gotta do something with it. So with this Nine of Swords, it can be fear, sleeplessness, anxiety, negative thoughts, concern for others. See how he's peeking there. Delays, failure, disappointments, deception, also death, and maybe even a miscarriage. In the reverse, it can be overcoming fear because, of course, the reverse would be opposite. So it's restoring peace, oppression or pessimism, shame, suspicion, doubts, even imprisonment, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. That's my interpretation of that when it comes to the imprisonment and the swords. Because sometimes one thing can affect, you know, the others. You know, a lot of things start with the mind, and, you know, when it hits the mind, it can hit the heart, it can hit the health. And that's my interpretation when it comes to that on that reverse. All right. On this Ten of Swords, I really love this card. And I really love this card because she's got 9 scars all across her back. And she's got that last stab on that 10th sword that's pretty much taking her out. It's bleeding her dry. It's leaving her for dead. It's having her backstab, betrayed. You know, she's fucked up. And then you've got these angel wings that when you see the card in front of you, it is absolutely beautiful. And I can't believe that I did those in gel pens, one by one, and just doing those lines. And I went ahead and I kind of did these little gray rays here, kind of like an angel just wanting to come and just kind of lift her up and just give her some energy, give her something extra, to give her some more life, to bring her right back up. So with this 10 of Swords, which you would normally see 10 swords in the back and they're just laid out, but I wanted to do something different because with this 10 of Swords, it's like being cut, healing, getting cut again. Getting cut again, healing, getting cut again. It's like, how much more can you freaking take on this? Bam, there's your 10. You know? So I really love this card for that. And I wanted to do it different like this, like just having that one grand sword that just kind of breaks the straw off the camel's fucking back, you know? So with this 10 of Swords, because we're going to say plural, it is pain, affliction, by at the hands of yourself or by others, tears, sadness, dissolution or destitute, being at your wits' end, mental breakdowns, intense crisis, mustering or gathering what's left of your strength that you do have left. And it can also be painful endings. And the reverse, it can mean profit, success, favor or favors, regaining power and authority, getting back to yourself, getting back up, regaining advantage, even if it's not permanent, you know, endurance, resistance to endings, short successes, revisiting pain, and positive comebacks. All right. It's a big card for me right there. Here's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. This right here is the frickin' Page of Swords. This sucker here, he's looking out, he's spying, he's being suspicious, he's being freaking nosy. He's being childish. You see how there's this ball out here with this bird out here being like a messenger. I got a ball here. I got like a paddle and ball ordeal going here. Kind of like looking out. He's playing games, being a messenger, being a spy. And you know how there's Pandora's box? I decided to do Pandora's box because pages are young. Okay, so I did Pandora's box, kind of like a sandbox. What do you find in a sandbox when you're a kid? You found all kinds of stuff in a sandbox, right? So here you got likes, shoveling, you know, like digging for stuff, money. I got a pair of shades here, like throwing shade. I got a little prescription symbol there, you know, never know, might be partying, hanging out, doing drugs, hopefully not. Got a fish down here with the head in the sand. Got a pink penis here. Take that how you want. Paw print, camera here with two people in the picture when you get a good look at it. Hearts, stars here. I put a plane up here for travel as well. There's two papers here, kind of like a yes and no, like a check mark and an X down here. He's also got an ice cream here in his hand. Now that ice cream, he's needing to mind his own business. He's got an ice cream in his hand, and that freaking ice cream is melting. So I know you can see it close enough on this this camera here. So what I also did was these handprints are pretty much holding him back, and he's got these binoculars here, and he's holding that sword real tight, and he's here in the shadows just watching. His eyes are real black, and just kind of like being in a shadow side, a shadow phase is where I had that coming in for that. And then I have the rest of the background black, of course. So these red hands are like holding him back. He's seeing something he doesn't care for, but he needs to mind his own business. But even if he's not doing that, he's still got to keep his wits about himself, even if he's seeing things that he doesn't care for. Whether he put himself in that position or somebody else put him in that position, whatever the situation is, when you're doing your reading, you have your surrounding cards. Okay. I kind of did a spiel on that one, but